Hey everybody, Whitney LaBrie here, and it has been a hot minute since I've done a lengthy haul show. So I've got 2 boxes and some accessories for us to take a look at today, so let's get into it. Well, the items you're about to see can be purchased on my eBay website at Whitney LaBrie Events. Number one question I get is, where do I get all my stuff? So I get it all over the place, of course, as I've talked about many times before. This haul today comes from a friend of mine who's been in the business for a really long time and was clearing out some of her stuff. I buy from her sight unseen a lot of the time so that I can also be as surprised as to what's in the boxes as you are. All right, first things first, I'm seeing this Native American man right here. I'm going to call it a little statue. It kind of makes me think that it may have been like to a chess game, maybe. It's heavy. It has a lot of detail to it. It's hard to tell if this was a chess piece because it may have been removed from the original base. But anyway, pretty cool. There's something I've always loved about this little window right here. It's a Tudor style window. I wouldn't say it's like a window seat. It has dentil molding. It's in this dark walnut. And then this particular piece is made by Concord. And there are actually bookshelves or bookcases that would anchor this piece that you can also find online. Now this is a cute little Hoosier cabinet, and Hoosier cabinets really became popular in the early 20th century. And of course, I'm sure you know, they were really meant to be freestanding cabinets, like a workstation basically for cooking. And they would have held flour and sugar and other spices and things like that. This one doesn't have like the metal funnel that would have funneled out your flour or other spices, but they don't all have to have that. We kind of use the word Hoosier as a blanketed name for this type of cabinet in the same way that we say Kleenex for tissue. The original Hoosier manufacturing company, though, was based out of Newcastle, Indiana. This one, however, is actually made by Handicrafts. And when I think of that brand, I actually think of a bathroom set. I didn't realize that they did anything else besides metal bathroom sets. So that's kind of cool. I haven't ever seen this particular cabinet by this particular brand. Next item up is this really pretty bar stool by BESPAQ. The legs are bowed in the front. It has really pretty detail on the legs. There is a flaw to the back. I can see where there looks like there's been a repair where the top portion must have broken off and someone glued it back. And so you can see that there's a slight glue space between the bottom portion of the stool and the back. So whoever purchases this, you will just need to do a little light heat gun. In some cases, even maybe just add a little water with a little bit of a Q-tip and see if the glue that they use was just regular white glue. Sometimes just a little moisture will help it loosen, and then you can just pop it right apart very easily and then re-glue that and make it look like a brand new bar stool from BESPAQ. So here's a really lovely wardrobe right here, a mirrored wardrobe. This is in a walnut finish and it does have one drawer. It is unbranded and I'm not recognizing it. Well, I should say I recognize it, but I don't recognize it to a brand. So could be Concord, could be Town Square, something like along those lines. And you can see that there's a large hanging bar in there, but there's not any other cubbies. So interestingly enough, I always refer to wardrobes and armoires kind of in the same way, but armoires are actually typically more ornate and they're used for more than just storing clothes a lot of the times. That's why they have cubbies and things like that, so you can do more than just hanging. But wardrobes are specifically just for hanging clothes, which I recently found that out when I was doing the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when I learned what the differences were. I know it's not life-changing knowledge, okay, but I did find it to be pretty interesting. And then here are some Heritage Village lampposts. 2 packages here, a set of 4 each. They are by Department 56, and it appears that they have never been taken out of the packages. So that's really great. The next cute little item that's caught my eye is this spooky little spell tree, I'm going to call it. It is absolutely a handmade item. Someone did a really fabulous job in a lot of ways. It's super creative. It's made out of clay and wire, and there are some areas that have cracked. You can kind of see the wires coming through. When you really look at it, the candles, actually, they did a fantastic job on making the grouping of candles at the top look burnt and melted, and all the wax is kind of dripping down. They have a super cute little spell book on there, and then to the side, they put put in a little shelf with probably some more books with incantations, I'm guessing, and then they did a little decorative piece to the back of it. So if I were to purchase this item, I would just take a little bit of air dry clay and patch up the areas that have some cracking. There's about 2 to 3 that I'm seeing here, and just let that dry, and then I would just go ahead and paint over that with a little bit of black and gray. Looks like what they used, or I would just repaint the entire tree. But anyway, it's really cute. Great idea. I love the creativity of this piece. This is a really fabulous trunk right here, and it is actually by Artisan Jack Chastain. He is a US miniaturist, and he's mostly well known for doing Western type of miniatures and cowboy inspired, that sort of thing. I think he's originally from Tucson, Arizona. He's also known for using really nice and exotic woods in his miniatures. I'm surprised to find this trunk in this grouping, but anyway, I do see, obviously you can see that it's damaged. The top has been broken off, but the hardware is there. It just needs to be re-glued. The main thing about this piece that I'm seeing that would actually take someone a little bit more time to repair is that the stain on the top finish, you can actually see has flaked off, is what it looks like. My guess is that maybe someone had this piece and then glued something to the top of it and then pulled it off and took the finish with it. So the sides, the base, the interior, absolutely beautiful. As you can see that it looks like real cedar inside. My guess is whoever purchases this would just need to actually refinish the top only and put a nice clear varnish back on top, and then you're actually going to own a true artisan piece that you may never come across again. I don't even, to be honest, know if Mr. Chastain is even still with us. Well, isn't this the cutest little sweets and treats display right here? Oh my gosh, I'm already hungry looking at it. We've got a pineapple upside down cake, what looks like a cherry pie, and then maybe a raspberry cake there. It does look like maybe one of the raspberries is missing, but that's an easy fix with some polymer clay or a bead. Everything is glued down. It is in a rustic red color, and it has a few little items also on the base, a little box and a little tin. Both are also glued down. What I love about this item is you can just go ahead and set it in your dollhouse as is, kind of ready to go. You could add a few more pieces if you want, but either way, it's super cute. The drawer does not open on it, by the way. Table right here. This is the type of table that I would use like as a bedside table, or the type of table that would have a really pretty lamp on it and a bay window anchored by 2 really gorgeous pink armchairs or something like that. It's really cute. It has pink floral and then it has the little ivy vines all over it, and it looks like it was made from one of those cardboard paper tubes, the really thick ones, as the base. You can kind of see there. I do often, when I see this type of table, I kind of think of the late 80s, early 90s. Even the print of the fabric kind of brings me back to that time frame. You guys let me know what you think when you see that fabric. Are we on the same page on that? Let me know in the comments. This pretty red velvet chair that you're seeing now, this is actually made by Concord and was part of their Concord museum collection. And it's really fun to see these older brands and how they had different levels. Like you had your regular Concord for us poor folk, and then you had this special higher end quality museum collection, and that's what this came from. And so this would have originally, of course, had a matching sofa that would have gone with it, and probably some tables as well. Overall, really the fabric is in really great shape, but it does have a couple of little flaws in the wood. Maybe it fell. It's not in horrible shape. If you just went over it with a stain pen, it would almost look flawless. You'd have to really look to see that. This little magazine rack is a really pretty mahogany. It's in super shape. My guess is it's also probably Concord. Beautiful little item. Here are 2 really cute slapback chairs. You know, I would say that they were in a sage green. I would call that maybe a sage green. Anyway, what's interesting about these is at first I thought that they were in need of just completely being refinished. But as you kind of look closer at them, you realize that someone actually finished them in this way to kind of give them a shabby look. You can see that there's actually some additional layers to this, and they look really good. I wouldn't change these chairs. I would just leave them the way that they are. Here is a lovely grandfather clock with a nice gold face. The door does not open, so it's very simple. I really was trying to get close to the camera with the gold face, but the light just kept blocking my view from really getting a good shot of the pretty face on the clock. Anyway, when I turn it over, it does have a sticker on it that says Collector Miniature Incorporated. It actually looks like oddly enough, a Concord clock also. And at first that's what I thought this was. So then I thought, well, maybe Concord was manufactured by this company, but I really couldn't couldn't find anything about it further. So anyway, if you know anything, let me know. I'd love to know more, have more knowledge in my miniature arsenal here. Here we have just a very simple walnut finish nightstand, all right, with one drawer. Let me turn it the right way here. Nothing is really going on badly about it. It's got a little bit of some mini hold residue on the top of it. It could probably have a nice run over with the stain pen along the edges. I think that would really revive this little piece and make it look brand new. Here are two different little hat racks or coat racks or even clothing racks, I guess, depending on where you're going to put them and what scale you're going to use them in, because you could definitely use these in a half scale if you wanted to for hats and coats, but they seem a little small for 12 scale. If I was going to use 12 scale with these, I think I would do it like in a kid's room, but the one in my left hand is in great shape. The one in my right hand, one of the hooks is broken at the top, so it's only like a half hook. These are super cute and very useful. This hutch right here is a Tonkass and Sturbridge piece. To my knowledge, I have never seen anything but case pieces from them. I've never seen any upholstered items. The other thing is all of their items come in this really golden oak finish. It's super pretty finish. I've never seen it in any other color. This one, you know, it has a few little issues. The side is missing the trim, and so it looks like it maybe someone dropped it and the trim piece fell off, so it needs a little repair there. And the only other thing which I don't show here is one of the drawers also has a broken side to it. It works and functions. I only opened one drawer on camera. I should have opened both of them. This is also a great time to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also definitely give me likes. Likes do wonders for the channel. I don't know why, but that's just how the algorithm works right now, I guess. So definitely give me a thumbs up. Now, if you're not a haul show type of person, just to let you know, I don't really do these that often. I used to do them a lot more, but they are so time consuming that I have actually pulled back quite a bit on these, and I only do one now every once in a while. Thank you so much if you just subscribed and you're new, and of course thank you to those of you who have been following me since the very beginning. Your time is absolutely so appreciated. All right, and now the piece, of course, that you see on your screen is a 3-drawer chest of drawers, and it is unfinished. It also feels like it's a laser cut piece, which is kind of cool. It's pretty intricate. No hardware, so really you can just go crazy with this and just let your creativity shine. Painting it, two tones, adding decoupage, whatever you want. Go crazy. Now this is a really cool butcher block. I think it's handmade. It feels really heavy. And what I would love to see someone do is add some additional detail to this, like maybe sand the top, where maybe, you know, sand it really down in one spot. Well, that was the area that maybe the butcher uses a lot to cut the meat. You know, I would definitely add some little nails on the side or places to hold tools. I mean, this is a really great piece. And like I said, it's heavy. I believe that it feels like a handmade item. Here is a nice little walnut bathroom cabinet. I mean, I guess it could be any kind of cabinet, really, wherever you want it to go. In my opinion, when I flip that little cabinet down, that's where I would put my extra toilet paper rolls, just saying. But of course, you can use it wherever you want. Now here are the cutest little heart-shaped rattan chairs, and they're in a natural color. They are so cute, and of course Valentine's Day just passed, and they are adorable. And for some reason I just can't, my hands are not wanting to hold all three at the same time, so they really kept jumping out of my hands here. But anyway, they are super cute, a lot of really fun detail, and I could just see these sitting around an adorable little bistro table with some cheesecake and maybe a glass of wine. Or is that too much sugar? Maybe cheesecake and milk? Water? Coffee? I don't know. To be honest, I feel like cheesecake goes with everything. Here's a lovely little BESPAQ mahogany chair. This is an open back chair, so it does allow for you, if you want to do an upholstered back, you could do an insert and go ahead and glue this in. It's in okay shape. When I turn it around though, and I look at the very top, you can see some cracking. At first I thought this was the finish, but when I really look closer, it does look like there was a repair made. And so it looks like they just, you know, glued the back part on. You really have to look pretty closely, but it's definitely there. I'm not seeing any other repairs made to the chair besides that. Here is a fun little metal scooter, and it is in a rust color, but then it actually does have some real rust on it, which is great. Great detail for this. I would love to see this like parked outside of a general store, or maybe like a little newspaper stand with some newspapers and stuff on it. Maybe a little bag hanging off the handlebars with newspapers. Anyway, I don't know why that my brain went to that, but you do whatever you want with it. This is a pretty cute little barbecue grill. It's supposed to be like a Weber grill, and the little rotisserie and the little side of food there is glued down. This is actually a Christmas ornament, and I would not use this at a 1/12 scale. This would be just a little bit smaller. I would actually probably use this for Lundby or Tomy, somewhere along those lines. Maybe even Petite Princess, because that's a little smaller too. And you could always add to this, you know, if you wanted to add a little bit more food or other details to it. Here's just a simple end table here. Could be Concord, could be Shackman, any brown along those lines. Oh, I really love this little Christmas ladder. I love the idea of these little pre-made scenes already kind of ready to go for the holidays. So someone took a ladder and they draped it with these little Christmas lights. They added a wreath as well, and some little candy canes too are hanging off of it. And then it's hard to see, but there are little tiny nails that are glued to the top also. The only thing I think this person might need is maybe a hammer or something like that. Would also be super cute to add. Already ready for it to go pretty much. Super cute, adorable, creative. I am seeing some unfinished projects. So I do come across this quite a bit in my hauls, where I find pieces that somebody had a vision for. They started it, but then it never was finished. And so that's what I'm guessing happened here. So someone took this haul table and they painted it in a cream color, and then they added what looks like plates. Looks like they were going for like a mosaic feel, but they just did not finish it. Maybe you're the one right now who sees the potential in this piece. It can really take this table to the next level. Here is an adorable little slipper chair. It is in white. It seems smaller than like a typical dining chair, so I'm guessing that this probably would be a better option for like a vanity. And then as I look closer, there is one little glue spot right there, and my guess is maybe there was something there, like a kitten or like a little doll sitting there. But it does have a little tiny fraying on just the piping or the trim on the left-hand side of it. But the integrity of the chair is there, and I really think that this could be useful in someone's dollhouse. This little white metal tea tray would have actually originally gone on top of a metal white tea cart. I'm not seeing the tea cart in this box, and so what I would do with this is just make it an adorable little bed and breakfast tray and add a newspaper, maybe eggs and bacon and some coffee, maybe one single flower on there. And now what we're seeing is really what looks like another project, maybe that was unfinished, or maybe it was finished at one time and they had a lot more stuff going on inside the cabinets. But this looks like somebody took a wardrobe and removed the doors and then added a decoupage finish to it, added these shelves at different levels, and probably had a really great idea about putting some books in there, or maybe a vase and flowers. I don't know. You could really see that a lot of different things could be happening inside this cabinet. But again, it doesn't really look like it was finished. But when I turn it over, there is a price on the back. I thought, well, maybe it is a finished piece, you know, and just adding accessories, of course, in my opinion, can make a world of difference on any project. This is adorable. This is just a little pet bed. And I think that this was originally a kit that you could make. You may even be able to find one unmade that you can make your own. But anyway, the artist did sign the bottom with the signature and a date. And the only other thing about this is there's a little tiny mini holder, a little glue spot kind of to the right of it. My guess is that's where they had a little pet at one time sitting in there. These two pretty little chairs right here are in that really rich golden oak color. They make me think that they're Tonkas, but I don't think they are because there is no label on them. Someone did make those little seats there, and really you see there when I lift up, you can see that it's just being held down by some mini hold. And I should also say that when I say the word mini hold, I'm being all-encompassing of all things that we use to hold down our minis. So sometimes, like in this case, it's actually yellow tack. Like we see blue tack a lot. Mini hold is actually clear. Museum wax also clear, but I just call it all mini hold. So if I say that and you're like, no, it's yellow tack, I know. It's just, I use that for everything. But anyway, great condition on the chairs though. The chairs are really, really in good shape. This chair right here is most likely vintage town square miniature. Probably came with an additional chair, sofa, and maybe even tables at one time. What's kind of fun is that gray is kind of an unusual color for Victorian collections. You don't see that often. It's in good shape. The finish is in good shape too. And so it just needs to find a home. Now we have just a pretty little rug, a round rug, and I would say this is pastel green or light green, I guess you could call it. There's no staining or anything on it. It's actually in really nice shape. I really love these kitchen stools. I think I actually already have one in my eBay store, so now I may have 4 of them all together. But I love these. They're unfinished. You can paint them whatever color. And really they're designed, I believe, to be like a swivel stool because they have a washer and a little bolt. So I'm guessing that's what they are, swivel stools, but they may not really be intended to swivel. If you catch your dolls swiveling on them, let me know. I'm very curious if they work well. This chair right here is a little perplexing to me because I'm not really sure of the brand. I have this exact chair in my eBay store right now, but someone took it, they painted it black, they did like some Asian painting on it. It's really pretty. And now I'm seeing this one here, which is actually in a finish that I'm starting to think maybe by Reminiscence. Again, the finish kind of makes me think that. And then Reminiscence also did a dining set that had a very similar seat, but in more like a harvest gold. And now this is one in avocado green. So that's my guess. If you're a fan of the brand of Reminiscence, let me know what you think about this particular chair. These 2 hunter green chairs right here just looks like someone painted some golden oak chairs with an acrylic green paint, and then they made cute little white polka dot seat cushions for these chairs. Now they didn't finish the bottom, and this might have been something I would have done early on in my life. Hope I'm not the only lazy person out there. But anyway, they definitely need to be repainted and then sealed. You can see that a lot of the paint has been kind of chipped off here and there. So they just need a little love, and I think that they could be revived. Now this little piano stool is just as charming as it can be, and I just envision it in an old-timey saloon. It looks like someone did a little bit of a gold swirly on the top, give it a little bit more character. But anyway, it's in great shape. You could repaint it very easily. You can go in any direction with it. So this fridge, this is Reminiscence, and I know that for sure. I can tell right away because number one, Reminiscence, like I always say, it's beefy. So this is a heavy refrigerator, heavier than you see more often than not in these little ice boxes. I guess it's really an ice box on a fridge. The hardware also gives it away. And then the other interesting thing about the Reminiscence on their refrigerators, at least, is they have little feet on the fridge base. So that's kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, there are some issues with this. There's a little bit of a stain issue on the side. It's a little bit of a flaw there. I don't know what happened. Maybe that was where a price sticker was, which I don't know why you would put it there, but hey, I've seen that. And then the other issue is on the interior. There's no shelf. There would have been a shelf inside there. The other issue, I don't even know if it's a true issue or not, but the base drawer, I cannot personally pull it out, and just at the risk of damaging it, I decided not to try it. So it is jammed in there, and that's probably the wood has probably swollen, and so it's just really hard to get out. On the upside, somebody could have put, I don't know, like a winning lotto ticket in there or like some cash, and it's just keeping me from opening it. So who knows what kind of treasures could be lurking in that bottom drawer, but it will not be me to find out. I'll leave that up to whoever purchases it. What you're looking at now, of course, is a ping pong table. It is a folding ping pong table. I don't show it here because I didn't have a table, but it does stand just like it is, and it'll just stand just fine. I did notice on the underneath side that a couple pieces needed just a little bit of glue, but other than that, it's in okay shape. Next, we have just this white porcelain pedestal sink. This sink is perfect, of course, because being white, it pretty much goes with most Victorian bathroom sets, and it's in great shape. Here's a little white planter that looks like a bicycle. I think that this would be so adorable with just a ton of different flowers in there. I guess too, you could use it like for fruits and vegetables if you wanted to go that route. And of course, with all of these white metal pieces that kind of look like wicker, you can always paint them or spray paint them whatever color that you want to really add your own little creative flair and personality to the piece. Here we have a little vintage baby buggy or a pram. This one is a white metal, and it comes with the umbrella and of course the baby little blanket inside, and it's in peach. I've also seen this in blue, I've seen it in pink, and I believe I've seen it in yellow. All the pastel baby colors. Anyway, again, here it is in peach. It's in good condition, super cute. Now it just needs a little baby. This is just a nice, lovely ceramic plant stand. It is tall, and you can put the plant right inside. It's got some really pretty detail on it. There is, on the very bottom, it just looks like it rubbed up against something that had some green on it, and so it took that off. And I think you could probably get that off with one of those Mr. Clean dry erasers. So these little urns right here, they used to have like a little squeezy plant at the top, like a topiary or something probably. One of them still has a little bit of it left. You know, you can see that they've aged here. These are great, honestly. You could still do another topiary on the top and just build up on them. Or you could actually put a statue on the top of these. One has some yellowing on it. I don't know if that's age, but it's perfect if you want it to already look like there's a little bit of moss growing on it. Here are some black metal bistro chairs. These are small scale. I again think that this could work for Tomy or Lundby. Anyway, they're also probably meant to be like a fairy garden type of chair. Super cute and in good condition. Here's another magazine holder or rack. And of course, this one is in more of a golden oak finish. Good condition. Oh, I really love this little gold chair. And what's really fun about this piece is that it comes with this really amazing petite needlepoint back and seat to it. There are actually other pieces that go with this collection. There's rocking chairs. There's like a little settee. There's an armchair, I think, that goes with it. I've seen different pieces in it. It's always fun to come across these little collectible pieces. Now we have a green metal bench with a lot of fun detail on the end caps. This probably goes to a Christmas village or something along those lines. This is a super fun little chest right here, this little trunk. So I've seen this before, different variations of it. So my guess is it's possible that it was like a kit you could purchase or maybe even a class you could take. Anyway, they're very storybook cottage feeling. And then when you look very closely at this, you know, you'll see a little bunny, little animals hiding in the bushes and that sort of thing. The top of it doesn't look maybe that it was quite finished. And so I've seen ones where there's more like tree branches and leaves and that sort of thing on the top, or it looks more like a thatched roof. There is a small initial on the base. Very lightly it says BH, and typically artists don't sign their work until they're completed, so then maybe the top they left blank on purpose and just wanted to keep it yellow. Who knows? Now this person, either the original person or somebody who owned it afterward, did make some insert to go inside the trunk. My guess is this is not the original, if there ever was one. They just made it for this, and I had to of course open that little box to see if there was any treasures inside, of which there was not. So I'm going to go ahead and place that back in there, and then of course this will be available as is for you to keep just the way that it is, which is super cute, or to go ahead and maybe add a little bit more details to the top part of the lid. Next up is this small handmade side table. I would say it's in a Craftsman or a Mission style with a oak finish on it. Some of the slots are a little crooked. I think maybe with the right accessories, maybe a nice lamp, this could be a nice piece in someone's collection. I love pieces like this, and whenever I see them, I always think back to when I designed the circus children's room, and I sold that box, but gosh, I really do miss it. Anyway, this is a Willet design piece here. It is a porcelain carousel horse, and there are actually several in the collection of different colors and styles. Now this is a really neat piece. This is an old school metal mailbox, and it has the little letter swinging door to the front and the metal lid. Unfortunately, there are issues. It's cracked on the bottom, and so my guess is it probably needs to be soldered for long-term use, but otherwise you could actually just probably put a little paint in there and it'd probably be just fine, or even run like a little bit of a vine up it, because it's not come apart or anything, it's just cracked. The other concern, of course, is that the back side is gone, and so when you turn it around, it's open. I would just cut down a little piece of scrap wood and paint it white and slide it right on the back and call it a day, but that's just me. At first I was thinking that this might be like a Durham Industries piece, and it might be a pencil sharpener, but I'm not seeing like the hole where you would put the pencil in, so I don't think it's that. I just think that it's missing the backside. If you know anything about this, I'd love to know more myself. Now what we're looking at is just so unfortunate. I can tell by the wood this was a BESPAQ settee. It does appear that someone attempted to reupholster it, and then that may be where they ran into some issues. The bones of the piece are all good. There's no splintering of the legs or anything like that, and then the side arm is actually also intact. It just needs to be glued back. Now I will say that it definitely needs to be reupholstered. It definitely needs to be reupholstered again and needs to be reupholstered correctly, but it does look like all of the pieces are there. So I'm going to put this online. I usually don't like to put items like this online because there's just so much work that needs to be done here, and you'd really have to know what you're doing with fabric, but I will go ahead and post because all the pieces are here, and I would just love to find out that this landed in the hands of somebody who knew what they were doing and really could breathe new life into this and use it and love it in a way that it was intended. All right, and then we have two Houseworks shelf units here, or bookcases. They've both been painted white to the front. The back side was left unpainted. But anyway, they are covered in mini hold, and it just makes me wonder what was all on these bookcases at one time, because there's a lot of blue tack on here. That's not going to be fun to clean up, but it's a little bit easier than some of the other things I've had to clean up. Here's another shelf, and it's pretty cool. I haven't seen shelves quite like this. They're wood. They remind me of like a general store shelf or a garage set shelf or something like along those lines. It's in this like terracotta color. Anyway, this particular one has a lot of glue on it too, but it feels it more like rubber cement. So in this case, you definitely would need like a heat gun to kind of roll over as you try to get that glue off. Otherwise, honestly, you can just glue right on over it. It just depends on how you're using it and what you want it to look like, of course. And of course, what we're seeing now is a easel made of wood. It is new in the package, and it is in a walnut finish. Next up, we have this really fun unfinished folding table, and I love these pieces because of course you can paint in whatever color that you want, put in whatever design that you want. Super cute. There is a little bit of a mini hold residue right on the top. My guess is it's museum wax because that tends to really get into the wood grain, so you might have to sand that area a little bit. And then we also have an unfinished beach chair right here that you can of course adjust to whatever level of laying or sitting that you want to be at while on the beach. So if you've made it this far, I really want to thank you for hanging in there with me on this extra long haul today. I do have one more box that I want to go over with you and some accessories, but it's not quite as big, so it shouldn't take quite as long. Straight out of the box is this adorable slipper chair. I actually really like this fabric. It's just like a dark pink, and it has a really nice trim on it. As I kind of played with it a little bit, I realized that the seat opened, and then the way my mind works, I thought this is where you store your treasure, but that isn't actually where you store your treasure. The truth of it is, it just needs a little glue. Boo! I really don't know why I'm always looking for treasure, hoping to find some. Apparently, I was a pirate in a past life. I hope whoever purchased this actually puts treasure inside there. Anyway, around the seat cushion, the trim is also kind of come loose. It just needs a little bit of glue there too. This pretty mahogany curio cabinet right here is just so lovely, and actually it's in really great shape. At first, I thought it might be like BESPAQ because of the doorknob. It has a nicer doorknob than a lot of town square miniatures have. However, the glass front is not real glass, and either other sides, and so that would lead me to think that it is not BESPAQ. So I'm going with town square. Anyway, someone modified it and they added a bulb you can kind of see there at the top. I don't think that this works, but I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to leave it as is for somebody else to remove, or maybe even test it and maybe that bulb works and you can leave it as is. Otherwise, it's a really pretty piece and there was no damage to it at all. I, of course, can see this bed sitting here. It is a really pretty large mahogany bed. It's a half tester bed or a half canopy bed, sometimes called. Anyway, it's got a couple mattresses sitting on top, so let's kind of explore that a little bit more. So the first thing I'm seeing here is some bedding that has been pinned to this really cool tufted mattress, actually. That mattress is super cool. I really, really love it. It might even be handmade. As far as the bed, it also has a mattress. Not sure if this is the one that originally came with it, most likely. It's got a good finish on it. It is like a cherry finish. I do see a little bit of glue. It's sticky. I believe you could probably get that off fairly easily. Otherwise, the integrity of the piece is there. Not seeing any cracking or any repairs that have been made to it. The back portion, I may even take that off and put like a really nice like Victorian scene, or you could just change out that fabric to just a different type of fabric altogether. It's like a kind of like a cream color or an off-white color. Otherwise, just a very nice bed. Here's another shelf like the one we saw before, except this one is in light blue, but it also has that same kind of rubber cement glue on it. We have another ornament here. This one is like a little boat. This is the type of piece that would really work well, I think, in like a diorama or something along those lines. Here is a little metal fire truck, old school style. I love this piece actually so much. When I look at it, I actually envision it to be like in a children's room, maybe like a little stuffed bear sitting in it, mixed in with lots of other toys in the room. So this is like an old freight scale. This is a Marks piece and it's fully plastic, and this is more like from the 1950s. This is just a nice, just printed felt rug, and it actually has some really nice coloring to it. Next up is this nice black pipe stove. This is a wooden piece here, most likely a town square miniature. What I like about it is it has 3 burners at the front and it also opens. Actually, you could even spray paint this any color that you wanted to if you wanted. If you wanted to do like a red one for Christmas or something like that, or you could go pastel for Easter. This is really a cute piece. This is an interesting piece right here. The box is really beat up, but this is a souvenir item from Singapore. It is a trishaw, and when I pull it out, it's a pretty cool piece. I don't know why I always think of things like this as being more like diorama, but I have my dollhouse is actually big enough where I have a driveway. Something like this could technically fit there. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It does move, and the hood goes up and down. When I flip it over though, there are some issues. The metal chassis has just come apart from the base. It looked like someone tried to glue it. It didn't stay, but I would definitely recommend, if possible, just soldering the metal back together, and then you should be good as new. Or, honestly, you could just use some permanent glue. I think that would work better than, it looks like they use like a regular white glue or something at one time. Here's an adorable little golf cart, and this one is like a half scale size. This is also die cast metal, and it's by a company called Welly. And I don't know why, but when I think of Welly, I always think of rain boots. I think in the UK, any of my UK subs let me know, but aren't rain boots called wellies in the UK? I think that's right. Anyway, let me know. This is a really cool set right here. This is actually a set of 3 bistro tables and then 6 little bistro chairs. This of course is small scale. This was probably purchased, well, it could be purchased for any reason, but probably found like in a train shop or something along those lines. Everything is there except one small cushion to one of the chairs, but all the other pieces are all there. This is the random hutch top to a Crisbon kitchen hutch, but this also makes a good addition to any table that you have if you want to turn, like a hall table into a hutch or something. This is great, or you could just use it as a kitchen shelf. This is a bag of crates, and at first I thought they were all broken, but then actually when I pulled them out to really look at them close, they're made to look a little shabby. They pulled the front slat off and kind of bent it and then glued them all down the way. They're all exactly the same, so that's kind of fun. And then we have a metal blue wheelbarrow, and it has some of that floral foam inside. It's all ready for you to plant some little cute flowers in it. Here we have an old 1920s kitchen sink, or could also be used as a utility sink. The sink in of itself is in really good condition. It has some extras to it, which makes me think that it gets a little bit of a better brand. It has the soap holder, and it also has the drain in it as well. The one thing that is missing is the actual pipe that goes from the sink into the wall, but it does have the 2 front stands, the front legs that go with the sink. So it just needs that one pipe. But I don't know, I just feel like it's not your typical like Concord sink. I think it's a little bit better, and it's got some good weight to it. Of course, it's ceramic. Next up, we just have some Halloween decorations. We've got some mini pumpkins here on string. These are great as like a little ornament for the dollhouse. And then we also have a whole bunch of little like plastic pumpkins here in this box as well. So I think these are just dollar store, but not all of us live near one. So you have to go quite a distance if you do have one. But anyway, these are super cute as Halloween or fall decor. And then I have these amazing cameos. You guys, these are so freaking cute. They have these really cool skeleton female skeleton silhouettes, right? They're little cameos. They're metal, and then they have some inexpensive like costume jewelry kind of stones at the top. And then there's 2 different colors. We've got like an ivory cream kind of color, and then we have like an off-white color also. So they come in 2 different colors. Anyway, obviously these are meant for jewelry, but these would just be really great on the wall of a haunted dollhouse. Okay, and then I also have these little ballerina button embellishments. We've got some faux grass here, or fake turf. And then I also have whatever this is, which may be like a window insert or something along those lines. Okay, and then moving on to the accessories, I'm just gonna point out a few cool items here, and then I'll group all of these together and we'll take a look. So the first thing I'm seeing right here is this bride doll. What I like about her right off is her face. She has a pretty face, and I kind of like how she has her hands out. So you could leave her as is, or you could put a bouquet in them as well. So her body is fully porcelain, it feels like. Overall, the condition is good. Her hair is all right. I think that veil kind of protected her hair. The dress itself, the dress is not bright, crisp white. It does seem to be a little off-white, but hey, maybe this is her second marriage. I don't know. The veil is in okay condition. There's no rips in it or anything like that. The next doll that I'm seeing is just this cute little blonde little girl doll in yellow. She's a jointed doll and one of her arms is kind of loose. They held her feet down here with some little mini hold that probably does need to be removed. It's a little dirty. Her dress is in okay shape. You know, this is not a very expensive doll here at all, of course. And of course she does have the stand that comes with the doll. This particular doll right here, I can just tell that it's a little bit higher quality. The face is really pretty and it seems to have been hand painted. Of course, you can see that the body is material and then your head, arms, and legs are all porcelain. The hair also, honestly, is really not in bad shape, but it does need to be styled. Like it's just dark, straight black hair that someone could do something with. And it feels like it probably has been packaged at least for some time for protection. The next little doll here is just this little sweet baby porcelain doll. This is also a jointed doll, so the legs move, but it does look like the hands, probably because of the little christening dress, are kind of up in the pick-me-up position and will have to stay that way also. Does look to be hand-painted porcelain as well. Next item up are some unusual pieces for me. I've got some half-scale items here, which are very rare that I ever have them because I just don't carry a lot of that. But anyway, look at this. This is so freaking cute. It's a half-scale potting table, potting bench that's full with all sorts of little half-scale accessories on it. Oh my god, it's just so freaking adorable. It looks brand new. It's certainly handmade. I thought that this stool went with it, and it's hard to tell because the way I'm holding it, but it's actually a little too tall. It's actually the same height as the bench itself. And it's actually priced separately, so I think these are two different items. But anyway, that's super cool to have that. Then I've got this little push broom, also in half scale. And then I also have this half scale entertainment center, I'm gonna say. It's got a little bit of residue from mini hold, of course, like all the pieces today have had, but looks handmade. It's super cute though. Like I could see like a big screen TV sitting there. And then of course your little tiny DVDs and other kind of movies or little knickknacks or books on the side. Anyway, again, just really happy to have some half scale since I never have any of it. Okay, and now I'm going to organize the rest of these and let's look at them in bulk. So of course we have some home appliances here. We've got a phone and some bags. I've got some animals. Oh my gosh, look at this sheep. Isn't this such a cute little sheep right here? Of course it's not bright white, but it actually looks like it lives on a farm. Then we've got a couple of, old school washers here for your clothing. A toolbox. Got a couple different sacks of bulk food that would be perfect for a general store. Back here, I've got more crates and different containers for different types of items. This is kind of a cute little piece right here. It's handmade soap. It says Pear Soap, also another great item for the general store. Then I have some vintage cans of food and some kitchen items, some wooden scoops. I've got one of those old school Pepsi Cola containers, but then I have also this entire little tub of soda and ice for our party. Over here, we start to see a huge collection of different types of baskets, all sorts of baskets for all sorts of different items. I do have a few outdoor type items for gardening, including this cute little birdhouse. This I'm not sure what. It looks just like a little tiny planter to me, but maybe it could be like a quarter scale swimming pool. We've got some food here. Here's a vintage cake. Looks like a vintage plate of buttery mashed potatoes. I have no idea what this disgusting thing is. It looks like it's the tail to something, but super random. I have a mixer. And then, oh my gosh, I have to show you this because this is also super exciting and different for me. This is actually a quarter scale collection right here. So first of all, we have the tiniest easel I've ever seen. Look at that thing. Oh my God, it is so freaking adorable. And then we also have an artist's utility sink, and it has little tiny paintbrushes on it. It's so hard to see. And you've got just a whole bunch of different little artist items sitting on the sink. And of course, it's covered in paint. And then you have the artist table also that goes with it, and it has paper on it. It has the smallest paintbrushes you've ever seen. It has different little papers with different paint samples. All sorts of paper towels I think are on there also. I mean, honestly, it is so small. The only thing is the table is missing one leg, so it kind of sits a little bit crooked. But otherwise, I think that is the easiest fix ever. It is so freaking cute. Again, quarter scale. I have a couple quarter scale items, but nothing to this detail. So I just love it. It's so cute. So freaking adorable. Okay, and so that's all the accessories that were in there also. Oh, there was a lot in this haul today, you guys. So of course, if you are new to my hauls, I showcase all of the items that I have, and then everything that you see pretty much goes onto my eBay website, which is Whitney LaBrie Events. The link is actually in the description of the video, but if you can't find it or something happens and you're having a hard time, if you go to eBay and you look up my store, it's Whitney LaBrie Events, and it'll take you directly. If you're looking for specific items, I do categorize them, but honestly, there will be, if you go today, everything will be under newly listed, and there'll be over 100 items that you've seen today that'll be listed there today. If you made it all the way to the end, go ahead in the comments and write me and let me know and say, I made it all the way to the end. I really want to know. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so you don't miss any other future content. And of course, like the video. Of course, as I mentioned before, that's very, very, very helpful to the channel. Have a great rest of your week, you guys, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye.